Got it. Oops, got it. Got it.
Okay. Just making sure everything is all connected. I think we are good. I'm going to mute that. Okay, awesome. All right, everybody. I am here with Madelaine. I am Amalia, and we are going to be talking our cosmic chat, our twice a month together time with you all. And it's the new moon in Sag. And so it's the first new moon after eclipse season, which was quite a ride for a lot of folks. And so the new moon is occurring on November 23rd, which is a Wednesday at 5:57 p.m. So I kind of like the moon cycles when they happen a little later in the day versus really early in the morning. Just because I feel at that time I can really connect in, where if it's like at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm not necessarily aware. And I don't really want to wake up that early. So I really like it when they're later.
Yeah, us moon world people will wake up. We don't even sleep on those lunations. Yeah. So you're lucky you're sleeping.
Oh, I totally am sleeping. I'm totally sleeping. So anyway, so Madelaine and I were talking before we went live, and there's a lot of really exciting energy that is at play this coming moon cycle. I want to just share a little bit of what I kind of am feeling about this moon and the Jupiter aspects of this, because I feel like Jupiter plays such a huge role. I know, Madelaine, you were going to talk about Neptune and Mars too, which I think is a big part of that story as well. But what I love about the Jupiter vibe, I mean, everybody loves Jupiter. Jupiter is abundance and expansion and growth.
Yeah, and Jupiter makes everything bigger, which is why I have a big cup. Because we're going to be talking about how Jupiter is going to expand everything.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, but it's true. It's true. I mean, I love that you brought that in. So a couple of little facts about this. So Jupiter, right after the culmination of the new moon, is going to station direct. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, which is where the new moon is. Jupiter, when it stations direct, is going to be in the final degrees of Pisces, which, if you want to think about that in terms of cycles. So Aries is the beginning of a cycle. Pisces is the end. By the time you're in Pisces, you've gone through all 12 signs. And I feel like Pisces is a culmination in a way, an ending. It's what lessons did we learn?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but as I'm interrupting you, I just want to jump in with the fact that you are looking at a high degree Jupiter at 28 degrees. So that is the end of that. Yeah. So I just wanted to support what you were saying with that piece of science.
Yeah, a little bit of the astrology backing.
Supporting your opinion there.
Yeah, yes. Kind of my vibes, my cosmic vibes.
Right.
But what I love about this, the Jupiterian influence on this new moon, is that sense of expansion, a sense of awareness, like broader awareness and perception and perspectives. And I think that also kind of ties in with that Pisces energy of being able to take all the lessons from the other 12 signs and pull them together. And what did we learn? What do we know? And really integrate it within us.
Yeah, it's the reckoning.
Yeah.
Come to Jesus, the reckoning.
It doesn't have to be. When I hear the word reckoning, I kind of think of like something that's maybe harsh, negative. But it's, but I feel like it's, even though I know that's not what you meant, but it feels.
It's sort of coming to terms with the lesson, you integrate it, and it's like you meet the truth. It's like, yeah, I made a really ego choice. It was like the reckoning of that. I'm paying for it, but I learned the lesson. Go ahead.
Well, and it's funny because I do Flower Friday card readings, and this Friday, right before this cosmic chat that you and I are having, is the flower that came through is gardenia, and it was about shifting your perspective, recognizing what you thought was a weakness.
That's the perfect card for this.
a strength.
Mhm.
And so I just feel like that supports this energy. I have another card that I'm going to share a little bit later on in our conversation as another place for people to lean into for this 2-week cycle, and maybe even 4-week cycle if you're going to carry it all the way through to the next new moon, which ties into Jupiter, ties into Pisces, and that support for people that I think is really needed in general. I think this, I don't know, Matt, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it, Madelaine.
Oh yeah, I'm literally like a horse in the stall in a racing, about to race out of the gate. Like I got like my bridle on, and I'm going. This energy is so exciting.
Yeah, it feels like an exciting. It feels like an exciting moon cycle because the other, maybe I'd say 4 have been a little heavy. No, I take that back. 4 or 5, with the exception of 1, I feel like has been really challenging for folks. There's been things that
it has been this, and even the most beginning half of this month is been challenging. I mean, we really are ready to get out of this. Everybody is. It's the collective, and what's interesting, and I always say, tarot card readers, bartenders, and hairdressers, we know what's going on in people's lives. You kind of know the truth of what's going on, so you see this parallel situations going on in everybody's lives. It's fascinating, but most people are ready. Where it's like the vulture that circles, and before it dives to its prey, it's like if it doesn't get prey now, it's dead. It's like that last point. But I mean, so Jupiter, the cosmos kind of works this way. It sort of builds, and then we get to this point where there's a breaking point, and then we have the transformation experience. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But I don't want to stop your
well, I mean, I think you're right on it. I think the other kind of the feeling I get around it too, just kind of tuning into the Sagittarius energy, and what I'm picking up on in the collective, if you will, is there's this, like you were talking about, like you're this horse that's ready to go. It's the sense of adventure and the sense of cautious optimism, I would say, is what I feel from a lot of people. There's this sense
they don't
of
want to get excited yet. They're like, wait a minute, are you sure? Because when I give people positive reads, they're like, I don't know, maybe, all right, we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like,
yeah,
if I get
like,
excited
I don't see how
about
that could
this,
happen.
yeah.
I'm like, you got to believe in the magic for the magic to happen. The cards want you to believe in the magic. That's Jupiter. Jupiter wants you to believe in the highest, most potential reality here.
Well, and if we take that to the concept of law and attraction, and we bring that in, whether people subscribe to that or not, but let's just, for the sense of conversation, say you do believe that it's possible. If you're focused on doom and gloom all the time, you're going to attract more of that energy to you because you're vibrating in the doom and gloom frequency.
Yes.
If you are vibrating in this sense of the potential and the excitement around what it is that you would like to create, and you begin to take steps to create it, you're going to draw more of that to you as well.
Yes. And so, a lot of these astrological transits are kind of really energetic portals, and these energetic portals are opening you up for rapid expansion. So whatever your energetic frequency is going to be what expands. So Jupiter can expand a negative situation to the worse, because actually, if that's what it has to do to get you to shift your situation, that's what it's going to do. So for better or good, we're going to get expansion. And that's what the 9th house is about. That's what Jupiter's about. It's about consciousness. It's about becoming conscious of your energetic frequency. It's mostly about conscious of your beliefs and your mentality and lockedness, because Sagittarius is the energy, can be very, on its shadow aspect, is rigid, dogmatic. And we've got Mars squaring Neptune. So this is going to be an issue coming up. So we've got and all these planets are in Sagittarius. We've got Mercury in Sagittarius on Thanksgiving. So all these families are going to get together. Everyone's going to get in these major spiritual arguments, because here's what's happening.
So prepare, everybody.
Prepare. Because what's happening is Jupiter is going to wake everybody up on some level. So, and that is something I'm seeing in my readings. I'm saying, you're going to have a spiritual awakening. And then they call me and go, you were right. I'm having a spiritual awakening. And they're into it now. They want to know more because we've got Mars in Gemini, which is really about learning information and studying and focused. And so we're really like, people are now really curious. There's a lot of stuff opening up in about history that we've been lied about. There's, all kinds of understandings and that are opening up. And one thing that's really becoming clear is that we are coming into a more higher enlightenment collective. We're opening our minds, and that is what needs to happen in order for expansion to occur. You have to open your mind, because that's the only way expansion can occur. So you got to change your mind about the way you see things. And spiritualism is so important because that's what creates a balanced, abundant state. And in the ancient, very advanced technologies, in fact, they possibly are saying that Buddhism comes and stems from that, which is a real philosophy of total balance of the yin and yang energies, because that's a very spiritually balanced energetic field. Here's my hand in the light. So when we're operating too much in the material realm and not enough in the spiritual realm, we're not abundant. We're not as abundant. Look at that.
Oh,
Anyway, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So we have to work with the light force. Here I am trapped, connecting to the light force. So that's what people are waking up to, that is our evolution as a collective, is that we're opening up to these other unseen forces that are powerful, that are here to help us become more abundant and to manifest heaven on earth. We have to fuse the two forces. So people are really waking up to that with the law of attraction, the fact that people are waking up to your energy being important, So that's what this Jupiter thing is going to be. And it's happening while Mars is squaring Neptune. So it's like people are going to end up having arguments. Like you're going to have people who are like awakening on spiritualism, arguing with each other about it.
So I want to share a little story about that. And Madelaine and I talked about this briefly before, was that, so with my sacred partner and myself, he has a fairly open mind. I mean, he's in partnership with me, so he's got to have at least somewhat of that.
Right.
However, he's also, I'm going to just completely, make a non-PC statement, but the majority of men are a little bit more practical in their thought.
Logic, logic, more in the logic.
Show me, prove it to me. And when I see it, I'll believe it, versus I believe it and I know that I'll see it. So he's been having some health issues that have been ongoing, and they're really frustrating him. They're really keeping him stuck. And I have offered a number of different avenues. I mean, he's obviously done the traditional route with doctors and diet changes and supplementation and antibiotics and all the stuff that really don't seem to be solving it for him. And so I keep gently approaching him with a more spiritual perspective, a more energetic, emotional perspective. And I'm getting the hand of like, And so I have, we kind of had a very energetic discussion about what was going on. And a girlfriend of mine came over and she walked in and she's like, oh, what's going on? And she could feel this. It wasn't like a negative energy, but she could feel there was energy in the room. And
sounds like Mars squaring Neptune type
exactly.
thing. Gemini and Pisces.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was this, and I mean, it all was fine, because he and I have the ability to stick with things and resolve them and not let them fester and become a thing. But what it really showed me is that I feel like there's a lot of people who may be butting up against the traditional route of healing that is not necessarily the answer. It certainly is part of the equation, but it's that other spiritual part of the healing journey that I think is super important to talk about. And that's something that I do with a lot of my clients, is when they have health issues and concerns, we look at what is the energy underneath it. What emotional energetic created this disturbance? What was trapped in that part of your body that then has been speaking to you in the form of an injury or a diagnosis of some kind?
Yep. I'll tell you one of the ways that people like us, because we were talking about this before we came on, like I'm in my family right now and I'm the black sheep, as it were, you know.
Yeah.
What we're here to do, people like you and I, is to raise consciousness. And that's all we have to do. We just have to be conscious, because if we're reflecting our own lack of seeing the importance of our work. So I'm starting to wake up. I'm even having a spiritual awakening. I'm seeing the importance of my work, because I'm seeing how imbalanced the world is in the material realm.
Yeah.
So it's like, now I'm stepping forward even stronger. It's more of a devotional thing for me now. And I couldn't be happier to do that, because it is what the world needs. And it is literally what we need to be more happy and abundant on this planet. And to be a part of that is exciting. And that is what this Jupiter energy is. So when we meet people who are rigid in their mind, we have to look at it as a mirror and become more water and fluid, because Jupiter in Pisces is fluid. It's fluidity. And we don't want to go to logos. We want to get less logos, less mind, less in the mind realm with people. So what I do now, when I see that mind battle going on, I know this is my spiritual lesson to become more fluid with the way they see things, and for me not to be rigid in my perspective.
Yeah.
So with Jupiter and Pisces, it's like, be fluid. And Neptune's right there. It's like, be fluid with it, which in other words, go hard, go intuitive. So what I just meet people with it now, I just meet them with a more intuitive place. And my dad is Gemini. So it's like, boy, does he want to, have some good hardcore political debates with Mars there. And I'm just like, I love lemons in the sun. I'm out there collecting lemons from the lemon tree, having a great time. But so the more you stay out of the logos, which is what Jupiter represents, the mythos, especially in its sign of its domicile of, well, it's not domicile, I'm sorry. It's in its rulership sign, Pisces, but it's Sagittarius. Well, this is a new moon in Sagittarius happening at that same time. I mean, this is crazy. This is fantastic. It's extremely auspicious. But the more, and don't forget, we got Mercury and Venus in Sagittarius, and people are going to be, Mercury Sagittarians are the chattiest people you'll ever meet. So everybody's going to be just chatty. So the more fluid Jupiter is leading us here, the more fluid. It's okay to disagree. It's okay for people to see things. And I'm telling you, with the way the world is right now, everything's really confusing. The less rigid you are about the way you see things, the better. It's just the other side of that is to not be oppressed in your vision, and to not be someone who doesn't speak up who you really are, because I have to be who I really am in my family, which is a spiritual, in their opinion, nutter or whatever. But I just go forward and go, that is who I am, and I'm not going to oppress who I am, but I'm also not going to push it on you. This is my opinion. This is my experience. I've developed these experiences that show for me this is real, and not impose it on anyone, and not insist that they see it your way or that you're right. So it's like that balance. And all we're seeking is just growth. We're not seeking to sort of transform everybody or me in my work or people around me. We're just trying to become more conscious and learn and grow and expand our consciousness. So everybody's going to do that on some level during this new moon. It's a powerful new moon with Jupiter stationing direct with that. So it's a very optimistic time if you can see the progressing with these energies in a truly spiritual way, which is to not be combative. It is to take the Mars energy and to use it, because that Mars, it's a very combative energy, is to have a spiritual, that's what we're trying to do here right now. We're really trying to become less, shall we say, fragmented as a society, less politically divided, less duality. So Jupiter is coming in to say, look, I'm going to bring you all higher consciousness around this duality, which is to bring harmony between us. We have to be fluid around what we all believe, release that rigidity. And with that, we can now expand and find expansive ideas and growth. That's what Jupiter wants to do. So everyone's life. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it's interesting you're bringing this up because I spoke about this past week.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's about this being yourself and speaking up and being open to what somebody else may have to say, because you may not agree. I mean, we do see duality. We do see people with very strong opinions that are not in congruency with each other. And at the same time, what if the person in front of you that you just feel like, I'll just use politics as a simple example, you're a Democrat, she's a Republican, and you just do not understand how the other person could possibly think and feel this way, okay, coming from both sides. But what if you are open to what this person has to say and you see something slightly differently? It doesn't mean you're all of a sudden going to switch parties. It doesn't mean all of a sudden you guys are going to be in agreement. But what if there's like this small opening that can take place, this beautiful connection that can happen with just the openness that you have to listen? And I think that's the piece of it. It's like, I think you said something about, it's not about transforming other people, but it's about opening them up to the possibilities and allowing for that transformation to take place within themselves.
Yes.
But you've got to be open to the conversation and be open and willing to listen to what somebody else has to say.
Yes.
In my opinion.
And I think this new moon is going to open up people's minds more spiritually, pretty much across the collective on some level. I think we are being pushed along by these planets to progress. And I mean, on some level, we all are. That's what we're here to do as souls, as spiritual beings in physical bodies. We're here to really progress spiritually, become more enlightened. And our society is in a new cycle of raising up into enlightenment. So, it's about exploring and opening our minds and finding. And by the way, this concept because I see it in my sons and I see them say things like, oh, you believe that? Well, you're crazy. Like, we're moving out of that. Like, if you want to believe in giants climbing trees and fairies, that's okay. We're allowed to believe whatever we want to believe. It doesn't make you crazy. It's like, you get to believe what you want to believe because maybe that raises your vibrations, so we have to open our minds and not judge people for what they believe. Why not have fun beliefs? Why not believe in fairies? It's not something I've ever experienced, but if somebody says that to me, I'm like, well, have fun to experience that in your life.
Yes.
So it's like, we want to open up and not judge people. Like my son goes, are you a flat earther? And I'm like, I'm not. But the fact that he was like going to judge me for being a flat earther at one point, I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, so my point is that we want to allow the exploratory, because actually Jupiter is about exploration. It's travel. People's lives there's travel involved in this. So really we're exploring and opening our minds and going, okay, and that's what astrology is. It's the ninth house. It is the sign of Sagittarius. It's the guru. It's working with the higher realms for higher consciousness and higher guidance. We open up to that so that we can create a better 3D. And it's the world waking up to the powers of the unseen forces that are here to help us. And they bring us more abundance. And then we're not focused on our material reality, which in law of attraction tells you just create more of that 3D junk that you don't like. And so when we focus on what we really want, which is what Jupiter is saying, Jupiter is your highest potential, Jupiter is your calling, and you focus on what Jupiter wants because you think it's hard and you think you can't survive, but Jupiter's saying, have courage, go for it. We're all here on some level to heal the earth, make the world better, and become better beings. So, and Jupiter wants to help us. And then we have to step into faith because Jupiter also is about, you have to believe. And that's why when I give card readings and people say, I just don't believe that could ever happen. I'm like, you have to know that this is trying to happen for you. This is your higher consciousness saying, I have a better life in store for you. You've got to believe in it for it to happen. You've got to resonate at that frequency. You've got to raise your vibrations. So Jupiter is saying, meet me up here. Come on, everybody, meet us up here in a spiritually high frequency state where we're all unified and we have the same goals, which is to expand the world and make it better for all of us. That's what Jupiter wants.
I love that you're talking about this right now, because this is something that I have been living for a few years now that I never would have thought was possible. And so, and I will be sharing more about my story and about the things that have happened these past few years, because they're so science fiction and so much where
I believe
I,
I believe I'm
I
sure.
well, I know you do, but even my family, my
Yeah.
kids, and they're like, okay, mom,
Yeah.
I think they're a little bit more willing. They're definitely willing to listen, but at the same time, they're a little skeptical because some of the things that
Yep.
I say seem very
My kids too. Yeah.
unrealistic in their minds. And, but I think, the more we share and the more we talk about our own personal experiences, whether other people believe them or not, I think it gives people that opportunity to maybe have that a small like crack of the door opening for them to
I
look and
think
see
that's
what
happening.
might be
Yeah.
available.
I think that is exactly what this new moon is about. And I think even though you get in an argument with someone about your spiritualism, there'll be a seed planted, you know,
Yeah.
but obviously we're here to become more spiritually evolved, which is to allow the other to have their own opinion and to be okay and to just not judge them for it. But the other thing is to just sort of like be someone who speaks your experience so that it can possibly open other people's minds. So it isn't about being
Exactly.
oppressive. And then we
Or
let it go.
hiding, or
Yeah.
hiding who you
Yeah.
are, or hiding the experiences that you've
Yeah,
had.
because that's why the world is not in the problems that exist in the world are because we have not stepped into our feminines enough, which is that cares and nurtures and make sure things are healthy. So it's like we can't have that energy oppressed anymore. The earth needs that. The earth needs the healer feminine here now, to balance out the unbalanced masculine energy that has been unaligned masculine energy that has created non-abundance on the planet.
Well, speaking of masculine energy, do we want to dive into Mars?
Yes, let's go.
I mean, dive into Mars. I mean, dive into Aries.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, wait. Why am I was going to share the chart of the moment just so everybody can see. I won't stay on it. Just so everybody can see.
Is it letting you share?
Yes, it is. I just didn't have it open. I went on another screen. Okay.
Awesome.
So there's this cluster of planets there. It's like 4, you got the moon, the sun, Venus, and Mercury all together in the sign of Sagittarius. So wherever house, we're going to go through all the houses. So whatever house you have Sagittarius is on fire. Okay. That is fire energy. That's why I'm going to talk about jet propulsion. If you want to know how to master that fire energy, it's jet propulsion. That's why you see me trying to, I'm ruled by Jupiter.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm moon ruled. So this is a moon, Jupiter ruled moon, Jupiter ruled new moon. And then I've got my sun and my moon are Jupiter ruled Pisces and Sagittarius. So anyway, bottom line is you want to learn how to just calm the fire. It's jet propulsion, and then that energy pulls you forward, right? So that's going to be a good way to handle these energies. Just do a little repression, like I say, but not oppression, but not fire it out at people.
Yeah,
so then we've got
a little more gentleness.
Yeah, and a lot of divine partnerships have, because we've got the Venus squaring Juno. We won't go into that, but I'm sure that's going to be coming up in people's life. There's a lot of unions happening, but we've got this Venus squaring Juno, which could very well be again clashing of belief systems, which has caused a lot of division in your masculine being too logos maybe, and feminine being too wounded by the logos of the masculine, something like that. But anyway, so then we've got Mars squaring Neptune there. That is, Neptune is in the sign of Pisces squaring Mars. Now here's what's going to be absolutely fantastic. This is why everybody has a lot to be optimistic about, is this Jupiter trining this new moon. I mean, it's sextiling Pluto, good for stocks. Stock markets are going to be going up. Pluto rules the stock market. Good time to invest. Things look up. I would, I'm not a financial, of course, use your own discernment and, don't be going crazy, but study the market and get advice before this, but it looks very positive. And I don't know how long-term that will impact it, but Jupiter is going to be in that position for a while because it's going into retrograde and it's going to come back. So it's basically trining Pluto for a good couple weeks. So,
wow.
This is excellent. But the sun will move out of this. But during the actual new moon, the sun is sextiling that or trining Jupiter while it's sextiling Pluto. Very auspicious energies, very good money windfalls for people. opportunities opening up that can bring money. A lot of people think, oh, that didn't bring me a lot of money, but that is a seedling that might sprout into a big. Yes. So these are very abundant energies. Next year looks great. So it feels like it's sort of setting us up for this a new abundant, more abundant future, because we're coming out of a rough time with Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn, and we're coming out of that. So I think things are really opening up for people here. We're really coming out. The COVID thing is really over with, and we're really recovering, not only health wise and body wise, like a lot of people who got COVID getting their hair back. And, I feel like I lost hair from that, but like stress of it too, but also, so we're recovering and we're getting back on our feet from that. And we're looking, and that's going to appear financially in everybody's lives. So,
Nice.
yeah, so we've got some good things. Now, Mars is trining Saturn. This is excellent. Excellent. Mars trining Saturn means at the same time that we have Jupiter stationing direct, this new moon in Sagittarius, which is a Jupiter ruled, auspicious ruled energy, Mars trine Saturn, which is really great. That is like really working with the energies, creating really good, strong work businesses. Like Gemini is a business, running businesses, opening up with Saturn, with the government, things shifting, supporting information. It's a very good supportive energy, and that's going to last for about a week. So it's good for career, it's good for work, it's changes, knowledge, changes of structure that are helpful. So that's a really, really good one. Mercury conjoining Venus. So just remember, Thanksgiving is the next day. So all these families are getting together. Mercury conjoining Venus. It's going to be very confusing conversation. Because it's Cazimi and the sun goes, the sun goes through it. Or is it, I get confused, but the sun goes through it. So it's purifying Venus and Mercury when it's all combust like that. Well, but Venus and Mercury are completely combust. So you're getting sort of like not sure how to, like, in other words, people are going to get into arguments about things and they're not going to know what their side is anymore. And they're going to go, wait a minute, I think I was talking like, I forgot what side of you're not going to, I don't remember what fact to say is going to support what I'm saying. I'm now confused. It's going to be confusing. So it's better way to be is in these energies is to be flowy, fluid, and let go, and just go ahead and try to connect on heart level with everybody and just open up consciousness. If you can't agree on something, just find a higher consciousness view on it together. Like, you know what, we're going to all see things are playing out. Truths are coming clearer, things like that.
What I feel like is a key theme here is just flowing with the energy.
Yes.
It's like not getting being a lot less rigid.
Exactly. And opening your mind to the importance of the spiritual realm and balancing our lives more and our abundance and sort of creating expansion, and rapid success is coming in for certain people, and financial booms. This is good. A lot to be optimistic about. It's an optimistic new moon. Now, I think shadow aspects are going to play out in people's lives, and we can talk about it as we go through all the 12 signs. So new moons for me are kind of harder than full moons. I always think there's always a little bit of a crisis in a new moon. But if that is the case, remember, with every lunation, the stresses and crises come to open your mind. It will be to open your mind spiritually. To have more faith, to align more consciously with that which you're really trying to materialize, that which you really want, to become conscious of what your thoughts are. That's what I've been very conscious of.
So really, if you just have the perspective that it's whatever comes up is actually moving you closer to what it is that is meant for you, that's destined for you, it might make it a little bit easier. I know sometimes I have to play mind games with myself to be able to feel okay with certain things happening, even if I don't like it. Yeah. So maybe one perspective of that.
Yes, because because this is going to shift you into more faith. So you might fall on your face on some level, and then you find, wow, I'm still alive and okay. It's that whole thing,
Yeah.
like, I made it. It's like, oh, okay, I have faith in the universe again. I have faith. Oh. So it's like an optimistic outcome of struggle, long period of struggle. It's a breakthrough. Well, we're going to pull some cards on it.
Okay.
So it's abundant twin flame unions coming in too. That's part of the thing. So if we have twin flames in the audience, or you're a divine partnership, or whatever you believe, if you don't believe that word, that's fine. But we are going to be getting a lot of, because Jupiter represents the masculine in the dynamic, but it also represents the missions. A lot of twin flames are coming into mission now, because we really are bringing the world into a more higher evolved place. And twin flames are usually, and if you don't call it twin flames, we're talking divine partnerships that are divinely intended, that are very solid, that are your other half. These are really destined to come together now, because we're going to change the world. The world's going to become better.
Yeah.
And that's usually the unions of these two forces have the power to do that, because it's a very strong bond that can handle the challenges of changing and shifting third dimension. One is working with spirit, one is working with material. And it's, so that's going to show up in the reads. Yeah, go ahead.
The other part of that too, I think that's so important, is that these divine partnerships, twin flames, whatever you want to call it, they have a foundation built on a very pure, unconditional love.
Yeah.
And that's right. Really the foundational point of all of it. And so
pulled out justice. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's bringing the balance back into our experience.
Yep. That's right. It is a spiritual journey. You have to get out of your headspace and into your soul center and find self-alignment. It's about finding self-alignment, which is what the whole spiritual journey is, because when you go into self-alignment, it's the I am that I am. You're connected to your center, and that is how we are supposed to reach our higher selves, our divine selves.
So I just said this Chiron. Chiron is in Aries. So when we talk about Aries, is that going to have an impact on Aries?
Chiron, Chiron, this is its third and final pass. Like it's in retrograde right now. So I look at this in people's charts when I do readings. So Chiron is in retrograde. It's the third retrograde, because I have my Jupiter there. So it's been on my Jupiter. So this is the third one. And when it goes back and forth like this, and it's the third one, oh no, it's retrograding now. So then it's going to come forward again. You really learn a lesson. Chiron right now is at 12 something, 12, 19.
12, 19, okay.
And Chiron in Aries, when after World War II, we had Chiron in Aries, and everybody became it's very abundant, because you become very durable. This is a Chiron Aries period, become very, shall we say, empowered people become much more in their own empowered selves, and they heal their insecurities. I have it on my Jupiter, so it's like I really had to step into being not insecure about my work, and stepping into my Jupiter and fearing people not believing. Like now I just go, well, you got to try to believe in it, because this is it wants to happen. So it's like now that's where I've evolved to. So Chiron going retrograding over my Jupiter's turned me into somebody who stands in this even stronger. And that's what happens, is that you become stronger with Chiron in Aries. So as a collective, we're becoming more warrior-like. We're becoming more willing to take on the challenges, to take our Jupiter mission forward and go against the 3D unbudgeable illusional things. So in other words, we have that confidence we can break through.
I guess I just forgot about Chiron being in Aries, because my natal Chiron
is in Aries. I've known
17.
That. Yep, I've known you've had Chiron. You're going through the same thing, because you're stepping forward more and not being afraid to stand forward as a spiritual leader, which is what we need on this planet, because we need to go forward more into a spiritual, balanced consciousness state of collective. So people are seated here to do that. And people with Chiron, and any kind of a Chiron conjunction in your chart right now, you can pull up your chart online and look and see where Chiron, how it's affecting your chart. It's here to help you become more of this warrior that we're here to be, wounded healers. So it is a very active thing going on right now in the collective, in the general collective.
Interesting. Okay, so let's talk about the moon. How is the moon going to play out in Aries?
You mean Sagittarius for the new moon?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how's like the Sag new moon affecting
Everybody.
Aries? Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
going to be in your, so you're going to look at your two houses that are ruled by Jupiter, which are going to be your Pisces house or your Sagittarius house. And the new moon is basically coming in and creating a new opportunity. So this Jupiter is in tarot is the wheel of fortune. So usually Jupiter conjunctions will bring you something. There'll be it's fate. It's your destiny. It's like and we've had all these eclipses. So in some way, shape, or form, everyone's lives has been more pivoted towards their true destiny. And now this sort of opportunity is coming in that fuels your fuel. It's the fire that fuels your carriage forward into this new opportunity. So most people are going to be given opportunities. And here's another thing I keep forgetting to bring up is when Jupiter went into retrograde in May, or actually, I don't think it went into retrograde there, but in May, end of April last year, something would have happened that was exciting, that was potential, or that became a disappointment. It flopped. It didn't work out. And it's a disappointment. That's coming back because I'm seeing it in my card reads. So that thing is coming back. And so something that was a disappointment, and I was doing a reading on someone yesterday that said there was a real estate deal that fell through. And I said, that one's going to probably come back again. So something that didn't work out at that point that seems to have failed in this period, we're now responding to is going to happen because Jupiter is going forward. So it's something from the back coming forward.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah. So look out for that. All right. So now I'm going to look at are we going to go through all the signs now? Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
So let's start with Aries. Your houses that are ruled by Jupiter are the 9th house. Wow. So really, whatever house I say that is Sagittarius for your signs, just picture like a bunch of energy, like a lot of fire underneath that house, which is kind of like a lot of energy, a lot of action. A lot of energy going into that house. So for Aries, it's travel, 9th house, higher philosophy, spiritual awakenings, opening their minds. Aries are very in the mind people. They're very heady. They're probably the most stubborn minded of them all. I know one. Anyway, it's going to be good. They're going to open their minds. Seeding is being planted that opens their mind. That new moon plants a seed. So opening up their minds, they may initiate some travel. The 9th house is also other cultures. And then let's see, their Pisces is their 12th house. Wow, that's that reckoning. They're coming into a reckoning. They're realizing what they've done wrong. They're hitting something core. It hurts. Eesh. They're realigning it, but it's opening their minds. It's making them see things differently, but it's painful. Some reckoning is what I'm saying. It's like, you at the 12th house is you lean on your knees and you say, I'm sorry, Jesus, forgive me for what I've done. I mean, I know that sounds very Christian and I'm not religious, but it's that energy of like, okay, I screwed up.
Yeah.
So that's your energy for Aries. And then you're going to redirect and you're going to have an opening mind and your life opens up because this is a beautiful energy where you either start traveling. It's a lucky house. This is lucky. It's like lucky. So on one level, you're in pain because you've got Jupiter going direct in your 12th house where you wake up, you see something. This is very awakening for Aries. But this is going to be what helps you have a better life because that awakening now sends you into a more centered way of making your choices, more in alignment with your soul, because you're going to see you've been out of alignment with your soul in some way. But it's going to be very, very, very good on the other side. This is a hard lesson, but a good medicine.
It's the opening to what is truly available to you.
Yes.
That you didn't see
before. Awesome for Aries, I think, because I do think it becomes, because it's this lucky house. So an opportunity comes in also that helps you travel or potentially, because the 12th house is also foreign culture, faraway travel. They might start traveling.
Okay.
Hopefully the inflation it's good time for them to do that. All right. So Taurus, going into Taurus, you have Pisces rules your 11th house. Very nice. You've Jupiter going direct in your 11th house. And then we have Sagittarius, your 8th house. Wow. Taurus, you could either get a windfall money. Someone could pass. 8th house stuff happens, but you get an inheritance. And Taurus, Pisces 11th house. It's gains. lucky gains and wins, Jupiter going forward, you meet new people, you suddenly, when we get to me in Cancer, I'll talk about the 11th house. We're really like friendships or groups of people from the past, but a new tribe group coming forward, good friends, a new friends group that's really fun. And then you've got Sagittarius in your 8th house. So you're really being pushed against some deep karmic attachment, fear-based. It's a Scorpio house. So it's like really coming to terms with some letting go and having more faith around situations that you hold on to, that you become rigid about because you want financial security or other people's money or some kind of a toxicity, because that's the 8th house. And the 8th house can often be really dealing with some low density, fear-based issues coming up that you now have restored faith. You can get a healing. This is healing. Jupiter very much healing that lower density energies coming up in that 8th house. So that might be a painful one for Taurus, because you're going to have a lot of planets there. You could get really triggered and hurt. But you're going to get that transformative experience from that, which is you become more aligned spiritually and less attached or seeking security through non-secure ways or venues, which is what spiritualism is to really help us do, is to send us into our own secure center, that we create security for our own selves with our relationship with the divine. And so in these 8th house things, you discover what you've made the divine, what you've made your salvation. So you guys might get a bit of a rough one there. But then we get that transformative, beautiful opportunity comes in. You could have a lucky gain and win with outside sources. Your vibration pops up. You get some kind of windfall coming in financially. You know, always have your own chart looked at and see, but that is a positive outcome for you financially for Taurus, big time. So that would be nice. And the 11th house Pisces going forward, lucky wins and gains, the 11th house.
I like that.
Nice.
That's all good stuff.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff. Even as you were talking about the situations and things that might come up that would be triggering with all of the planetary activity that's taking place.
Yep.
It still feels like it's like a purging.
Yeah. 8th house lunations. I don't like them personally, but you do feel better afterwards. You know, you feel a lot better. You kind of have a little bit more buoyancy. You notice, you feel like, wow, I got through that. Okay, I'm still in the game, you know.
Right. Yeah. I think having Scorpio as my ascendant, I'm accustomed to that feeling.
Yeah.
So, okay. Gemini.
Okay. So Gemini, you guys have this 7th house. So we're looking at a lot of energy going into your relationships. A new relationship coming in, you know, your true fated spiritual union with your person that you are here to change the world with and become a unified force against the old that needs to change. And then we've got Pisces in your 10th house. So we're looking at a career. So we are looking at relationship, career, relationship. And now it could be partnerships involved in a career business, because the 7th house is not only marriage or romance. It can be very much businesses. You get into your calling and you take the world forward, and you really believe in this work, and you believe in the importance of your work, that it is important in the world, and you have partnerships involved that you take forward, and it involves, you get notoriety for it, because Jupiter going forward in your 10th house, you can get, it's near your MC, you can become known, you get better recognition. It's like a higher, so with this Jupiter energy, it's always going to be about a higher calling for the good of the earth. You've got to, you like me now, like I feel like my work is important. The more I study the ancients, I'm like, wow, we really do need the spiritual people here to come in and talk about it, whether we're right or wrong or whatever, but we got to bring it forward. So, so for Sagittarius, for Gemini with Sagittarius in your 7th house, there's a relationship coming in. It's very possible it is your true divine mate, but you're going forward with some kind of a project with Jupiter stationing direct in your 10th house that gives you notoriety, but that's also a higher calling, a career, your higher calling, your true point, your true mission, your true purpose. And with these eclipses, it would have Gemini, Sagittarius was really in the nodes were last node cycle. You're most likely somewhere on your vicinity on this path whether it's bringing you money and income and you're fully self-sustained on it or not, I'm not sure, but that could be what happens in this lunation because of this incredibly powerful Jupiter going direct in your 7th house. I'm sorry, in your 10th house of career. We really are looking at a promotion in your career and your notoriety and recognition. Good one for Gemini, actually. Very nice. But you could get in arguments with a partner if you're already in one with a 7th house Sagittarius, or you may find your partner has a spirit. Maybe you're in a relationship with a partner and they're very close-minded. They may wake up. They may become spiritually open-minded. So there is a transformation in your 7th house of relationships where you become more spiritually awakened on some level. And most likely, if you're not in a spiritual divine and you're more in a karmic situation, you will probably end it and wake up to wanting your true soul connected mate, your other half is what I want to say. So Pisces in your 10th house, I like it for Gemini. I don't see it as much of a painful thing other than they have Mars on their ascendant. So they might be getting into arguments and conflicts with people. So if you are Gemini, just to be aware of that, because you want to take that energy with Mars on your ascendant and learn and study and focus or work out.
Get that energy out.
Yeah, exercise. My dad's son is Gemini. I'm like, don't you think you should be exercising, Daddy?
Oh, that's
anyway,
cute.
Yeah.
All right. So Cancer.
Oh, sorry, Cancer, Capricorn. Last time we forgot you. We're here this time. We're going to give you extra focus because
we'll give you some extra love.
Yeah, we'll give you extra time today. So Cancer.
And I just want to give a little like love to Natalie, who sent me a message and let us know that I think you forgot Cancer and Capricorn, and she has a
lot of that.
She has some of that energy. So that's what she was looking for. And we totally skipped it. So thank you for telling us. If we do that again, or there's something that we missed, just tell us, because we're human. We make mistakes.
And I agree. You see, the Cancer Capricorn axis is my favorite one too, because I am Cancer rising. So I missed out on it too, because I actually, when I'm doing these reports, they actually really help me tune into it more as well. So I love it.
Yay.
All right. Awesome. So for us Cancer rising and sun sign and moon people, Cancer, you're ruled by the moon. So when there's a lunation like this, it's going to be more intense for you. And you really do feel shall we say, a amplified version of the moon energy, and it's in Sagittarius. So we really are firing up your 6th house of work, health issues, changing your health routine and becoming much more health consciousness, a spiritual. There is a very powerful spiritual element to your health routine now. You see it as a spiritual vocation or something like that, your health. But this is work, an opportunity coming in for work, which could be very good because you have Pisces in your 9th house. So Jupiter stationing direct in, so that's a very lucky house. So let's just say, Pisces is the house of travel and luck and opportunities. It's the house of Jupiter. So you've got Jupiter going direct in the Jupiter house in its one of its signs, ruling signs. And you're ruled by the moon, and the moon is in Sagittarius in your 6th house. So we're looking at possible travel, higher consciousness, spiritual. Maybe you step forward and teach. I know I'm doing workshops. Maybe I get to do another group of workshops because it's work related. It's day-to-day busy because that's 6th house. Oh, you're going to be busy. 6th house lunations make you very busy, which I love. I like to be busy. It's because I got my son in the 6th house. So Cancer. Pisces direct in your 9th house. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So my daughter-in-law and my son are having a baby soon, and she's Cancer rising, I believe. I know she's Cancer sun. I can't remember if she's Cancer rising or Cancer moon, but she's got two.
Interesting. She's had the eclipses in her 5th house, which often makes you pregnant. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, she I think right now, like, she's in this place of, her body is, how do I want to say this? Like her body's giving her a little bit of trouble. And so she's just, doing what she can to support herself, to really, nurture herself, nurture the baby. And I'm just thinking of this in terms of sixth house, work and health. I would assume that, work has to be, I'm sure, as part of the equation, but likely backburnered in her need to really take care of herself. And so could this relate to, yes, it's this busy energy, but it might actually be working in a way where it's like, it's busy, but in a different format than most people think of busy, where it's like, you might be busy in a different way.
Because this is such an auspicious new moon for Cancer, because it does square the ascendant, and I'm sorry, it squares because it's at 28 degrees. So it squares at the edge, at the cusp.
Okay.
There's a good chance her life's going to change in a big way. So for all Cancer, Capricorn people, you're cardinal signs. So often this is really going to change a situation in your life. And it's possible because of that imbalance, she starts working at home. So there's something going to shift about your work situation that becomes more you're going to become more awakened to the importance of having a work routine that is balanced for you and healthy. So she may make a change. She may apply, because Cancer in the 9th house, she may apply to work online or teach online or do something at home.
Well, she works from home as it is.
She does.
She does.
Okay.
But I'm thinking maybe it's just like maybe easing up how much time
maybe
she's devoting to it, maybe really focusing her attentions in a different way.
An opportunity, a new beginning will show up that balances her life more, and she may become much more spiritually aligned. She may decide she doesn't want as much money. She wants to live more minimally and take a more spiritual approach to her life, or something she'll do that balances her life, that's awakening, that makes her realize abundance is. Because if, like, let's say you make that change. Let's say you say, okay, I'm not going to work as much. I want less money, but I don't want to be as busy so I can relax more. You actually don't realize it, but that's actually going to raise your vibrations, and you're actually going to be more abundant, and you're actually going to attract more abundance, because the relaxed energy is the most abundant energy that attracts abundance, the most energetic, the most attracting of abundance energy is balanced, calm, masculine energy, a healed. That's why healing is so important. So she may need to sort of calm her energy down so she can be healthier, and then she's going to attract solutions and more abundance.
So that was awesome, and the funny thing is I don't know why this did not click in my brain until literally just now. My son is a Capricorn. So I feel like they're riding the same wave on different ends of it, because I know for him, he's definitely more. Well, they're both very driven, but I know for him, he's very focused. I feel like he's got some Aquarius energy in his chart too, where his mind is very expansive, and he has so much knowledge and wisdom, and he can take concepts and really formulate them in a really unique and
what's his rising sign way. He's rising sign Capricorn.
What is his rising? I can't grab it this second.
Okay. That's all right.
Yeah. And with 4 kids and all the charts I look at.
Oh my gosh.
Else, like, I can't.
I forgot you had that many kids. Oh my gosh.
I can't keep track of everybody's.
No. Plus your guys and your chart. I've trained my kids to know their charts by heart. I test them. I say, what degree is your moon? What house is it in?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, because when there's a moon stuff, I can tell them, just remind me where your Mars is, remind me what planets you have in Leo, all that.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
I know.
Okay. So Cancer, life is going to be changing.
Yeah. It's going to be good because it's the lucky house, Jupiter stationing direct. I mean, for me, it's my workshops. The 9th house is teaching, and then the 6th house is work. So I really hope I am very busy doing more workshops. I love doing these spiritual workshops, by the way, which I should mention to everybody since we're on the topic. Yeah. These workshops are really focusing on the Tree of Life, which is the most ancient, shall we say, manual for manifesting. And we're using the 22 major arcanas, and we're studying the 2 paths of how to shift your energies from feminine to masculine. And it's really about tuning in and working and being guided by the internal soul and connecting. So anyway, we're really having a great time. So if you want to be a part of these workshops, just email Madelaine Parker111 at gmail.com. Anyway,
love
sorry.
it.
Yeah.
And well, and I will say this, you know, I haven't done this particular workshop with Madelaine, but I was on her live with her a while back, and we were really
Doing
balancing the masculine and feminine. And she was really sharing a lot of wisdom around how to become more feminine and receptive in order to then be able to take the action of the more outward masculine. And it's so logical and so heart-based and simple, but yet we miss it.
This is why I teach it, because all the things that I've done, when I say mistakes I've made, have been out of alignment, male energy in me, where I didn't really align in with my center soul. And that's what these tarot, the major arcana, always make you do. They go inside, check that you're in alignment with your action before the Chariot card. Stop and make sure you're in alignment with your actions and your ideas, with your soul, knowing. Partner the knowing, the soul, with our emotional self, the brain with the emotional self. So that's what I love to teach. That's because I need that myself. When you teach something, it integrates, you become better at it. That's why we teach, so that it integrates into our abilities. So it becomes something I am better at doing.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right. So guys, good one for this Cancer. I don't know about any shadow aspects for Cancer. Let me think. 10th house, Pisces, Jupiter direct. It is kind of squaring squaring my ascendant, and it's 0 degrees Cancer. So you are going to get, shall we say, more confident, more bold about being spiritual leaders. I mean, that's exactly what I'm doing. I think it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. It's the 8th house, it's plumbing, So it's like, I think a lot of Cancer with Jupiter going direct in your 9th house, you're really taking on that task of becoming a voice forward and believing in the importance of your work to make the world better, in that it is important.
Yeah.
So, all right.
True. All right. Leo,
you guys have Sagittarius in your 5th house. You'll either get pregnant, be careful, or a new relationship comes in, or a creative project, or your child something really great happens to your child. Things expand for you, creative projects. Very much Leos are so creative. Great for Leo. I like it for you guys. Then we've got Pisces in the 8th house. That's nice. So, because it's now going direct, so you're going to heal some issues or fears around debt, other people's money, some deep issues because something didn't work out. There's pain involved. It's possibly a relationship, because 8th house is relationship. So you're really reckoning some pain in the 8th house, because I don't really like 8th house. They're good for us, but it's hard medicine that you don't like. So I would say that Leo might come in contact with some real understanding that they're the cause. Now Jupiter's going direct. They open their minds up. They see that they're the cause of some of their own pain in a way. But then they open up, and it creates more flow in their finances, because they are now more spiritually in faith energies on on their psyche. Because the 8th house is your psyche. It's kind of like what you hold that is disturbing you. So it's like with Jupiter going direct, you're over that disturbance, some sort of a deeper soul disturbance, a fear of survival. The 8th house is very much fear of survival. So now we're seeing the 5th house go forward, a creative project that now possibly brings you abundance from an outside source, or a child. Let's say you get pregnant, you're now going to be financially supported by your mate. Somehow, I
can relate to what you're saying. The child part, not interested in that. I have 4.
Yeah.
I'm good with 4.
You've definitely done your share of work in that department.
Yes. But what I find interesting is the talk about to heal issues around money. That's been an area of focus for me. Some of this money karma, this ancestral wounding and the beliefs around money, and how my relationship with money, and the creative projects that I'm working on now, I feel are a gateway of healing and putting myself out there in a different way, and not having to carry that same story of the money karma. But it is extremely uncomfortable.
Yes.
To be working through that and to be looking at that, because underneath that money karma and underneath that fear are these like kind of icky places.
Yep. This Pisces house, wherever you have Pisces in your house with Jupiter going direct, you're going to go, do you really believe? Do you really believe in yourself? Do you really believe in God? Do you really believe that this can work out? Do you? Because that's the question. Because it isn't that you can't have it and that it can't work out. The question is, do you believe this?
Yeah.
So, and you got to say yes. If you want this to happen, you've got to believe in it. That's what Jupiter says. Trust, and it can happen.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So Leos are going to have a nice possible windfall with that 8th house. Jupiter direct could be very good. If you're refinancing a house, it could come through. If some nice chunk of money could come through from an outside source, a windfall. That's nice.
That is
nice. Don't forget, I keep forgetting to bring up that Jupiter is trining Pluto, which rules the stock market. So if you have stocks, that could be I keep forgetting to throw this in on the story here, but anybody with stocks right now is possibly going to be very happy now with these transits that are coming up, this new moon.
Okay.
Virgo, Sagittarius 4th house. So new beginnings in a living environment, moving houses, somebody moving in, a shift in your family. Pisces in your 7th relationship. You see, you might get into a relationship from the past now goes forward if you're single, and then you move and live in together, or you change, you change your living situation. A new, more abundant, really fabulous situation occurs. And then we've got Pisces in your 7th house, stationing direct. So let's say you're already in a committed relationship, you're already in a happy relationship. Something in the life of your relationship will now go forward. Like, let's say your partner is 7th house. Now their life, something really good could happen in their life, and it's kind of like fabulous, and they're more abundant, and something goes forward for them, and you may have a contracted partnership now go forward with them, a project. Maybe you get into building a house with somebody, that would be, maybe you redesign the house, or you build an added thing and you get into another relationship with someone, or you sign on a contractor. That would be a 7th house relationship. Like, for instance, let's say you were redesigning your house, and an architect has been AWOL, and you haven't been able to go forward. Well, now the architect comes back, you can go forward. I know that's happening for a couple people. Because the last 6 months have been karma clearing and things have been blocked. Saturn in retrograde, Jupiter in retrograde. We've had to go back. That's why Jupiter went into retrograde, because whatever happened at that time when you made a wrong decision of some sort, or it was handled in a wrong way, or you weren't ready energetically to believe in the better outcome that now is going to come through on this new moon. That's why you got to have belief. You got to believe in your highest dream. Believe it, because it wants to happen.
And that's for everyone, not just Virgo.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the Jupiter. That is the message of Jupiter. All right.
Oh, Jupiter. That's
why we love Jupiter. Yeah. So are we ready for Libra?
Yeah. Let's go to
Okay,
Libra. I got to
Libra.
grab my charger while
I
you're
gotta
talking.
get a little glass of water. Sip. So let's see, Libra, you guys. 3rd is Sagittarius. Busy times, communication, writing. Wow. Libra, you guys are going to go nuts. You guys have got all these planets in your 3rd house. It's just like, ooh, really energetic, busy, a lot, like Sagittarius and Mercury, and Venus and Mercury, busy communication. With Mercury and Venus together, by the way, we do get communication in relationships coming in that are separated or broken up, coming back into the scene. But also even in your relationship, you could get a lot of verbal communication. Is just a huge thing happening for you guys with that 3rd house Sagittarius. But new beginnings, you could have an idea for a new business. You start a new business. 3rd house is businesses, but it is also arguing about belief. And then you've got Pisces in your 6th house. So there is some kind of a work, of something going forward in work that didn't work out before. It's possibly a small business or communication or a writing project, because 3rd house is writing, or internet, or starting a website, or starting your new internet business. And with Jupiter going direct, maybe you had this idea and it didn't work out before. Like maybe you started a blog and it didn't work out, and now some opportunity comes in for it, and now you're ready on some sort of believe. You've shifted your mind around the way you look at it, and now you feel more into it, and you're reignited about it, and you want to go forward, and an opportunity comes in, and it's now really abundant for you. Like Like you're all go on it now. So Libras are very much, this is a work related energy for you guys. But your third house is going to make you busy, and Pisces in your sixth house, you guys are going to be some of the busiest people right now. Communicating, writing, work, day-to-day routine. You're definitely shifting your belief systems here, because we've got this rigidity opening up with that Jupiter there, where you open up your mind. You're more interested in exploring options. Pisces in your seventh house, in your sixth house, is like sort of in a spiritual awakening. That's healing, very healing energy for Libra. They want to heal. They want to go back and do it better in a healed way. You know, you could almost look at the sixth house as being wakening up to sort of walking a more healed path, becoming aware of what you have to do to fix something about your body, like quit sugar or stop an addiction and now things can go forward. Third house, you've had a spiritual awakening around an idea, because third house is thinking.
Oh, that sounds so cool. Because I feel like Libra peeps, they tend to want to make other people happy.
Yes.
And so that doesn't leave much room for themselves and really having a sense of who they are and what they believe in. And so this feels like a really
yes, good point.
Beautiful opportunity.
Yeah, you bring that up because I know a Libra, and they like me to be repressed around them, because they don't want me to talk about my spiritualism, my twin flame. Anyway, maybe they start to become aware of their rigid thinking.
Yeah.
They open up their minds here, and want to write about it or want to start exploring it. So they have Jupiter in their sixth house. So they're purifying. Jupiter is a very purifying energy too. So they're purifying a toxicity because now it's going direct. So they're cleaning something. They're clearing that toxic thinking. Sagittarius is third house, is even your thinking, can be your thinking, which then opens them up to more healing. Because if you're rigid thinking and you don't believe in spiritualism, like I know somebody who doesn't, it's okay though. We all get there. You're blocking out your healing. And healing is important. So if you don't, because like you can go to the doctor and get all the Western medicine you want, but the source issue is going to be a spiritual unbalance in some sort of stress, fear-based thing going on. So the healing is comes in that you got to open your mind so you can allow the healing in, that then makes you resonate at a higher frequency. You're now healthier. So I would say that that's going to play out for Libra, and they may start a business or start something, because this new moon is about planting a seed. They could start a writing project. It's writing. Libras are brilliant people. They don't like the apple cart rock. They do say what people want to hear. They don't get into belief arguments with people. It's like, that's okay. You believe that's okay. I don't believe anything. Like, that's okay. So maybe they come forward and say, okay, I am opening my beliefs. I see that I can believe in something without rocking everybody's boat. It's okay to develop my own beliefs here, spiritualism, or what that is for me. And that's the thing about spiritualism, is we can define it for our own selves, because we're not religious. We can make up the rules for our own self,
Right.
So I think Libra are waking up to their own ideas of spiritualism and how they want to heal their health around it. And it's all opening up. Beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. All right, Scorpio.
Pisces is in your fifth house. So you either get pregnant or something's going to go forward in your fifth house, a creative project, something that didn't work out. Also a relationship from the past that didn't work out, that was a friendship, could go forward. Or if you're in a solid relationship, very good chance you may have had a miscarriage. Now you get pregnant.
I'm not digging all this pregnancy energy.
Yeah, watch out.
Jeez.
Wear a chastity belt for about 2 months.
Something. Holy smokes.
And hide the key.
Hide the key.
Yeah. All right.
Second house is where the moon is.
Yeah. New beginnings in finances. Nice new moon in the second house. I like that, Sagittarius. But you guys have had a lot of karma to clear in finances there with that Sagittarius in the second house. Because, Sagittarius is clearing karma around finances during this, because they have Capricorn over their second house. But point being, things are going forward. You have more faith in a financial endeavor. You start to believe that you can attract the finances for this project. But again, opportunities coming in that shows you that you're starting to see. I don't know what you got to do. Believe in it first and then see it. Or if the seeing it comes and then you really believe in it, now you do believe in it. So it's like, okay, somewhere this is happening. Something that finances are abundant, you can sort of believe in, and now you're seeing it happen. So it's all happening at once, I guess. And then you have Pisces over your fifth house. So like I say, watch out for the, creating a new other human being that you are stuck with for 18 years. Just kidding.
Forever.
But you love them. But yeah.
Totally love them.
Yeah. But so with that, I lost my, I'm like, whoa, okay. Where we go? Where did I find Pisces in your fifth house and Sat? So creative writing projects. You really are looking at a creative project with your divine mate that makes you excellent money. An opportunity comes in that it's a go. And I think I know for you, because you have a Jupiter ruled mate, we're going to see go time on a project, on a writing creative project. And by the way, this is go time for everybody, go time. Something from the back that past that didn't work out is now going forward. So it's a creative writing project that makes you money. And new moons in the second house always bring a new source of income, a new client, a new resource available to you that you have created. You've created. By the way, all of anybody that retrieves any good luck from this, you've struggled for this. A lot of people have in the last year or two have been working hard and not seeing the results, but now we're going to see these results. So it's going to be good news. That's what Jupiter is. It's good news.
I feel like I can say that for myself, that's been true. I've been working really hard for the past couple of years, and it's been okay. It's been okay, but it hasn't been
fruitful
what I expected.
Right.
And,
as fruitful.
But I've held faith because I know that it's there. I can feel it. I can see it in my mind's eye. And it's beginning to coalesce into form. So I think that kind of ties in with what you were saying too here, where it's, you see it.
Yep.
You don't see it. You believe in it, even though you don't quite see it, I think you just have to stay in that faithful place and continue to check in with yourself. Keep going. Too. Yeah,
exactly. And follow your higher soul's calling and your astrology, because a lot of times that's what astrology does, is it supports you on your path. You're like, no, this is my abundant Jupiter path, but it takes a while to really generate that abundance from it. You got to get that wheel going. It takes a few years. So
it's a momentum.
Yes, exactamundo.
I also feel like the universe needs to see that you're committed to it, that you are willing to put that energy into what it is that you're creating, and whatever it is that you're creating is of benefit to other people, not just yourself. So it can't be about
you surviving.
Or like, I'm doing it because I want to make $1 million. Right. I'm doing it because I want
to be successful.
Or I want to be famous, or I want to be whatever.
I want a big house and lots of cars,
Right. I mean, that's certainly part of the equation for many people.
Yeah, it's okay to have abundance and stuff. Yeah.
Of course. I'm not saying that, but I think if that's your main motivating factor, that is, I think, where sometimes things can get kind of tricky.
Yeah. Yes. And with Jupiter and Sagittarius, that is not the motivation. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The motivation is to expand and find liberation through serving the universe and creating a heightened experience in life for everyone and yourself. And, the material stuff that we accumulate does not bring us that much. It's really a burden in the end, Yeah. So the gainings of the material realm is only going to be, it's a weight in your backpack. So
totally is.
Yeah.
I think about that in terms, I mean, I feel like I'm fairly young still. I mean, I'm 50, but depends on how old you are. Your perspective you have. But I think about that.
You're young. Yeah, I'm kidding.
I feel like I'm young.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm young. So, but I think about that in terms of things that I have, the things that I accumulate, because at some point one day, somebody's going to have to deal with all of it.
Yep.
And I just don't want my kids or my partner to have to
deal with it all.
Deal with a bunch of stuff.
I know. So yeah, that's the thing. It's so much more fulfilling to have spiritual knowledge and experiences and expansion and, learning about energy and how to materialize experiences in the life you want.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Jupiter. It's traveling. It's a travel energy, and I want to travel. And boy, one of the things traveling teaches you is what you don't need. Like,
oh yeah,
what to pack is I've traveled my whole life, and I know my soul's journey in that is to learn what to pack, and I still struggle with that.
That's hilarious. I'm like the packing maven. When it comes to travel, it's like wherever I go, if it doesn't fit in a carry-on, it's not coming.
Oh, wow.
I do not like checking bags.
Talk to you about this. I got to learn your way, because I want to learn that, because I've always taken too much stuff and I'm carrying it because I always think I don't know when I get there what I'm going to want. What if I change my mind?
I always think whatever I need, if I have to get it, I'll just buy it.
Yeah. Well, I took too much.
It.
Yeah. I took too much stuff to my parents because I bought a bunch of clothes to wear, and I've worn like literally the same sweatpants all week.
Of course. That always happens.
When
Misha and I took a trip to Costa Rica, to a beautiful place in Costa Rica this summer, he had this huge bag. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, do you really need that big bag? I just don't feel like we need to check it. It's just like another added time that we have to do. Funny. Yeah. And I looked, I'm like, I feel like I can make this fit. So I did. I fit all of his stuff from the big bag.
That's amazing. You roll it into these little like a little roll. Apparently.
I roll
everything.
I tuck things. I can look at it and pretty much tell if it's going to work or not. But then he also had his camera equipment, so that was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah. The work stuff
he wasn't thrilled about, but it worked, and we were so glad we didn't have to check bags and things. So yeah, it's so, to me, that's liberation, to not have to check a bag or carry a bunch of stuff. That's so much easier. Okay, do we want to move on to Sag, because that's
Sagittarius, you guys. Sagittarius here anyway. Sagittarians, great. My son's life's about to change. He's got he's got a lot of planets. This is at 1 degree. So 1 degree Sagittarius. So whatever you have in the lower degree degrees is going to either get squared or trined or sextiled by this. So you might want to look at your chart. But my son's having this right on his Mercury. And I mean, on his MC. This is a whole career upgrade for Sagittarians. This is a whole struggle over. This is the doors of gates of jewels opening up for you, abundance. Wow. Walking through. Your struggles are now, I would say, pretty much for a while eased up. Jupiter stationing direct in your 4th house. It's a good chance you're moving, or a living situation is altered or shifted and changed. I do see that in a lot of Sagittarians I know. A living situation is going to be, so now we're going to go back to an idea or something from May or April. And I wish I got my exact date on that. But when Jupiter was at the same degree as it is now, and when it goes direct, that thing that didn't work out will now work out, come back. So think back to that time for Pisces, and it's around a property, real estate. Oh, that's really good news for me. I think of something right now that's exciting.
Yes. That is exciting.
Yes. And then, so what else?
Pisces. Where's Pisces for them?
4th house. So that's like,
that's where
real estate.
Getting...
Yeah. My real estate deal will probably hopefully go. I've been having my property cut in half by the government. So maybe that's going to happen. There's some really good astrology next week for things working, government things happening, going through. People who've been working with the government in general. That's in the collective.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got.
Let me ask you, when was that again? The government, like, forward movement for everyone? When is that happening?
Let me take a look. Well, that's when the Mars trine Saturn.
Okay.
So that's going to start tomorrow in the next couple of days, but it's going to play out for the whole week. It usually Mars transits are about a week. because
Okay.
there's 3 degrees on one side of the transit and 3 degrees. So that's a 6-degree transit range. Well, let's take it 4 degrees because maybe 6 is wide on that. You don't really feel much on those. I note all these things down. So let's
Yeah.
go with 4 degrees, and Mars does 1 degree every 2 days. So
Okay.
it's this longer transit. So yeah, so Sagittarian's great, fantastic for you guys. I'm so happy for this for you guys. Everything's going to open up for you Sagittarians here. Struggles have now really met their last legs, as it were. I think what we're seeing, you know what I want to say? It's like, you know how you're in a roller coaster and you're in that thing and you're going,
Yeah.
and it's really long, and then all of a sudden you're at the top and it goes glink, 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 and then you're like, ooh. That's kind of what we're like. So you've got so many planets in Sagittarius, the moon, Mercury, Venus, and the sun. So it's fired up. Sagittarius are fired up right now. And then that 4th house, something shifting in your real estate property, home, living, family, new family coming in. Like my son might be getting in a bunch of roommates in his place. So, that would change his living situation.
Sure.
More abundant, much more abundant situation for him. So yeah, that's about all I can say for Sagittarians. Your minds are pretty open at this point, Sagittarians, I think. Unless you're a rigid-minded Sagittarian, you're going to become more open-minded and more aware of rigid thinking. And I'm Sagittarius and I'm really aware of that. Like I just, mirroring on my dad, I'm just like, oh, that's really interesting that a mind can be so close.
I feel like that's also generational.
It is.
So
not to judge, and instead just go by heart, just connect with people through their heart space and not get into the mental whatevers. So that's kind of something I'm doing. That's a shift for me, opening the way I am. And so
Madelaine, clarification question about, you were talking about looking at any planets that you have in low degrees. So would you give a 3-degree orb on that? What would you say? So basically,
because what do we have Venus at? Let me see. Where's Venus and Mercury? Venus and Mercury are at 9 degrees and Mercury's at 10 degrees. Okay. I would say 4 degree or 5 degree, you're going to feel it, or either way, because this is a lot of energy in Sagittarius. It's very fired up. Plus Jupiter is going direct. So,
so maybe a 4 or 5.
Yes.
Degree.
So now I'll tell you the signs that are going to trine it. So Sagittarius, first of all, if you have any mutables, you're going to get a square, which could be challenging. So there's going to be a challenging shift or conflict or something could happen because it's going to be squaring all your mutable signs or squaring, but it will trine your cardinals. So, or sextile your cardinals. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, it trines the fixed signs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you're a fixed sign low degree, you're going to get a really good blessing. And it sextiles the cardinals. It's going to sextile, it sextiles Libra, and trines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, trines the Aries house. So in other words, if you have any placements of lower from 0 to 6, 7, 5 degrees in any of your planets, you're either going to get it's squaring. If it's squaring, there's going to be forced change on you, a conflict or something that's frustrating or forced or change. If it's a trine, it's going to be an opening, a flow, a blessing. Sextile, again, easy flow, something, an opportunity coming and flowing, easy things opening up.
That's so interesting. I because when you said that, I thought, wait a second, because I have Pluto 0 degrees Libra. I have my moon at 1 degree Taurus.
Okay, let me see.
And I have Neptune at 2 degrees Sag.
Wait, what do you have at 0 degrees Libra?
Pluto.
Oh yeah, you're going to get a positive. Ooh, you could come in for some good money. That's a Pluto. Oh, that's great because you've got a nice aspect to the Pluto. That's fantastic. What was the other? What 0 degree? What was the other one?
1 degree, my moon in Taurus.
Okay, so you're being sextiled in your Pluto. 1, 2, 3. That's a sextile. And then we're looking at your Taurus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's like a quincux or something, which I don't do those minor aspects. So you're okay in your Taurus house, but what you're getting is you're getting a sextiling on your Libra.
Nice.
So 1, 2, and sextiling, it'll sextile anything you have in Aquarius at the low degree. And it will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trine whatever you have in Leo at the low degree.
What
So
do I have?
what do you have Leo low degree? It'll trine it, which is
my
awesome.
vertex is at 6. My sun is at 9, so it's a little further away.
6 is good. The vertex thing is great. You could come into some really good money here. There could be a financial windfall for you.
I feel there's potential.
Very possible for you. Very possible.
However, with this Neptune at 2 degrees in Sag, is there something maybe I'm not going to see?
Oh no, that's going to be awesome. You're having
There's
this.
no
You're
illusion.
having this lunation right on your Neptune in Sagittarius.
Yeah.
That's all about your guy because he's Neptune ruled. Something's going to happen with him. Like I know when I've Neptune. Yeah, your Pisces person is going to change. Something's going to radically shift in his life. I think your guys are about to have some kind of an opportunity come in that changes your life.
Okay.
Because he's Pisces, he's a Pisces, he's ruled by Jupiter. All Pisces people are going to have really powerful things happen for them here. I think it's a really good, that's some really good stuff going on.
I'm trying to see where his, okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you for that little side trip.
Now we're going to look at Cap.
For letting us walk down that road. All right. So
now we're going to look at Cap. Yeah. Capricorn, Pisces, 3rd house. Sagittarius 12th. Okay. So if you're set, you got all this stuff in your 12th house. So it's possible you do go very introverted, very low key. You have a very strong spiritual connection with yourself. This is very much about come to Jesus. What have I done wrong? Where have I been so out of alignment in my life? What do I really haven't I not seen? It's a very introspective awakening. I do need spiritualism. I've shut my doors to spiritual ways, my old ways. I was way more spiritual once. All that. And then 3rd house, probably reading, learning, or a small business or short distance travel opportunity opens up for you. But 3rd house would be writing projects, sort of coming to terms with now remember it's possibly something from the past coming back in that 3rd house, a business idea, a website, some kind of a opportunity comes in through communications, openings, communications, busyness, short distance travel, siblings. Those all 3rd house things. And Pisces is sort of like something going forward in a business, possibly writing also, because that's Gemini, 3rd house communication. I'm trying to think of a scenario here. Pisces in the 3rd, probably aligning much more connected to a soul purpose, and then maybe starting that. And it may have tried before because it was in Pisces and it didn't work out. So now they're really trying it again, going back, an opportunity opens up that makes you see, wow, this is okay. This is waking you up at the same time to a more spiritual calling about your work. And again, spiritualism can just be yoga, can be eating toxic free organic foods or farming or something. It doesn't necessarily mean what there's many angles that we can approach. So there's a knowledge and new information, something going forward, information, communication coming in from the past, something going forward again.
What came through when you were talking about that just a second ago was also releasing toxic thoughts or toxic beliefs.
That's right.
Doesn't mean you're all spiritually minded all of a sudden, but you just let go of some things that just haven't been.
3rd house, is inner dialogue, your thoughts. Very good. And so, you're becoming more spiritually awakened to how much powerful your thoughts are, how you've created your own misery by your thoughts, by what you've been thinking, you've been materializing that. I have actually become aware of that for myself as well on some level. Because I'm nervous about something. I'm nervous about because I got to pay money for this thing. And I'm like freaked out about whether, and it's like, if you get freaked out about whether you have the money or not, you're going to kind of create that.
Right.
So you got to really, so that's, and I have Capricorn planets. So that's something I'm really definitely becoming aware of. That's what we're all becoming aware of how we're manifesting what we don't want. And why that's happening is because of our lack of high consciousness, or becoming not aware of our consciousness. We're not conscious of our consciousness. You have to be conscious of our thoughts.
Well, I mean, it all comes back down to awareness.
Yeah.
Having an awareness of what we're thinking, having an
Yes.
awareness of how we're engaging with other people, having an awareness about how we show up in a meeting, or we show up with our family, or, you know, and not getting lost in our head.
Yeah. And really realizing what it is you are swirling around in your head. That isn't good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of swirling around in your head, Aquarius, what's going on with them?
Yeah,
They
you
got a
guys
lot of
have
head
Pisces.
stuff.
Yeah. So way of earning money, an income project with your own resources in their second house going forward. Didn't work out. Now coming forward. I know somebody who had a project is really failed. Now something's going to turn around and maybe they'll sell this real estate property that didn't work out for them. And then we've got Sagittarius in your 11th house. Nice. Wow. That is good luck. Very good luck for you guys somewhere around your 11th house, or through tribe, friends group, a project coming in, opportunity opens up. The 11th house is new tribe, maybe. So Sagittarius, well, let's see, Pisces. So a tribe, a friends group that are more spiritually in alignment with you, that you wake up to a more spiritually centered group of friends that you want from a more soul connected idea. Opportunities, though, this is the house of lucky gains and wins. Something you could have a windfall, very lucky situation could open up for you guys. This is great to have that Sagittarius new moon trining Pluto. Where would Pluto be? In Capricorn. Pisces trining your Capricorn 12th house. I
Might be
mean,
uncomfortable.
yeah, but this is a realization, a spiritual awakening, very much so, about your beliefs and your philosophies. And maybe you've not been friends with people because of beliefs. Now you open up and you now believe what they believe, and they are your tribe. So you don't have a separation. You're no longer maybe separated. You have a spiritual awakening as to who your true tribe are. And that you share really important, similar spiritual beliefs. And then you see the importance of that tribe now. And then with Pisces in your second house, an income way of earning through your own resources, because second house is your own resources, as opposed to the 8th house, which is other people's resources. You now have a financial opportunity goes forward that didn't work out before, now goes forward. And now you can see money. This is an opportunity coming in. Again, this is the fate card. This is coming to you. Nice.
Well, it feels good for Aquarius.
Yeah. And now to jump in on Pisces, because I feel like we're the opposite of last week. The pendulum really swung the other way. So great news for Pisces, guys. You've got Jupiter trining Pluto. So in your house, on your ascendant. So you guys are in for a windfall. A lot of good spiritual things happening. Again, that's a very widely definable term. And then with Sagittarius in your 10th house, career, big time. Wow. You guys have this sort of 4 planets. It's kind of a stellium in your 11th house. I'm sorry, in your 10th house of career. So you guys are having a big upgrade in your work. Good news for you guys. Long awaited for Sagittarius and Jupiter people. They've struggled. Jupiter last year was in combustion, then it went into retrograde. It's just been a long haul for Jupiter ruled people, and now this is the end of that. We're really seeing the fruits and the rewards of the labor of those who have been struggling on their Jupiter path, because Jupiter wants to reward you now for doing it, for taking that risk, going out and living your Jupiter. Those who have gone out and lived their calling, stepped up to their missions, Jupiter is going to come in and say, good job.
So what if someone
Here's a gift.
So what if someone hasn't? What if someone has made choices based on money or fear?
Many people
or have tos?
Yeah, because that's why Jupiter went into retrograde, was to purify that thing. And many people did. Many people got into relationships they weren't really supposed to, that were not in alignment with their Jupiter or their heart or their soul. So yeah, if you weren't, that is going to be excuse my language, but you're going to be in a shitty situation around that right now. It's going to be suck, but you're going to get out of it. you're going to bust free out of it and become more of a, you're going to get that lesson. And then you're going to go forward as a sort of, shall we say, fixed version.
Okay. Okay.
So
Would this also show up like with what is there anything going on with like fourth house activations with Pisces people? Is there any?
Yeah, big time. They've got Mars there. You got Mars in your in your fourth house.
Okay.
And they are getting in arguments with people at home, spiritual arguments. My son lives with his father, and they've been getting into it. And I told him this because you've got Mars in the fourth house. You're having conflict with a masculine in your home setting. Mars is masculine. So you're getting into these masculine conflicts. As soon as he knew that, he just knew it. And it's hitting his Chiron, which is triggering his issues. So it's like, once he knew that, he just disengaged. So it's like Mars in the fourth house is combative energy with people that you're living with, or you want to channel that energy into finding a new place to live, or changing something in your home, or learning something from home. But you got to channel that Mars energy in Gemini, wherever anybody has Gemini. I have Gemini in my 12th house, which is why I go deep into my astrology studies in this energy. And that's the best way to do it, is to take something that interests you, that focused energy. Gemini's focus. So if you focus that energy, you're not causing combat, you're not causing conflict.
Yeah. It's interesting.
And Pisces have Sagittarius in the 10th house. So if you really study something, learn something, this really expands your career. It's happening anyway, whether you like it or not. This is happening to you. Career upgrade, big opportunity coming in. Nice opportunity coming in. Big. This is what I saw for your guy when I did his chart. I see this in my son. I see a lot of good stuff for Pisces coming in. And it shows in the eclipse, but it may not have shown up because really we're at the end of the eclipse season. We're like 2 weeks away from that. So it's like we're starting. So people are like, well, that didn't happen. Watch it now. Jupiter needed to go direct, especially if you're Jupiter ruled. It needed to go direct. You got to be ready. Jupiter waits till you're ready, which means your frequency is aligning with it.
Which I think is fantastic. Now, if it's somebody that has a Pisces sun, though, this is going to be a slightly different energy than if it's a Pisces ruled or ascendant person.
Yeah, because if you're a Pisces sun, what is your ascendant? So whatever your ascendant is going to play out more dominant. Yeah. But your sun does play out. I mean, I'm
sure.
Yeah. So I think that for me, my Cancer placement plays out strongest because I am moon ruled. So that's another reason. But if you're Pisces rising, not all the lunations that are ruled by your planet are going to be very powerful for you. They're going to be stronger. They're going to be up volume.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it will be a strong moon for Pisces ascendant. Good stuff. This is a very good new moon. But watch out, Pisces. You've got Neptune there squaring Mars in your fourth house, getting in arguments. You're better off going and meditating and being an introverted place with your fourth house issues that might be happening. But Pisces in general can have a hard time. Pisces can be very negative in their thinking. You got to really, I have to work with Pisces pretty hard to get them out of. They have this really negative storytelling thing. The Vedic astrologers talk about this a lot. And it's like, I see that in my son and I confront him about it. And he goes, yes, mom, I know, I'm working on it. And like, he gets mad at me when I tell him, but he is definitely changing that he is starting to, I say, you got to start telling good stories in your head.
It's funny because I have the same conversations with Misha, and when he's in an open space, he'll listen, but when he's not, he just gets so annoyed with anything I have to say that's slightly positive.
He's shifted into shadow.
Yeah.
Sagittarius, which is rigid minded. And the only thing anyone can do with a rigid mind is to just leave it alone, because you can't meet it at the mind. You're going to get a block. So you just go hard,
Right.
But that's the shadow aspect of Sagittarius, is to be rigid and getting in an argument and insist that your belief is wrong, or that your belief is wrong, or that my belief is right. And then, but really beliefs are fluid. They change, they move, they mutate. We open up. Sagittarius is always expanding. We always need to change that. We always need to be willing to open up to a new idea, because the only thing that's constant on this planet is change. So we have to adapt to the change. So
very true. So I think
the more adaptive you are, the more abundant you're going to be.
That's mutable. Here.
Yeah.
the keys here for this moon are really just kind of where we started, just being flowing with the energy, being adaptable. you
Mutable,
know,
mutable, change your mind.
yeah,
Sagittarius is a mutable energy. Let go. Oh, okay. Oh, maybe. Wow. Ooh.
not quite so rigid.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just want to share this really quickly before we sign off here. The card for this moon is the white water lily. This activates awareness and sharpens your senses. So if you feel like there's something that's preventing you from seeing a path forward, or seeing a shadow aspect of yourself, or recognizing an opportunity that might be there, bring the white water lily in. And you can do that by just imagine, like, taking a mental snapshot of this and calling that in. As crazy as it sounds, just asking for the white water lily to speak to you. And one thing about this flower that I think is cool is it's similar to the lotus, where it grows in the mud and in the water. But when the seeds fall, they fall into the water, and the seeds get implanted in the mud to sprout again. And it has a little bit, I wouldn't say an easier journey than the lotus flower that really has to work hard to make its way out of the mud. But it does have that same journey of really having to be in the darkness in order to rise up into the light, and going through the emotional waters that exist. So, and this card, I'm sorry, this flower is in one of the Lotuswei flower elixirs, Wild Abundance. And so I feel like it's so in tune with the energy of this moon.
That's so funny, because I pulled this card, which often means your higher calling. But yes, this new moon, the more spiritual you go, the more you tap into a higher consciousness realm, or connecting to the unseen forces, and you focus on Pisces is spiritual. You're going to get beautiful guidance, and it's going to help expand your life. So
yeah,
a spiritual
definitely.
approach. This is a spiritual new moon, no doubt about it.
Oh, yay. I dig it. I'm excited about it. I hope everyone is too,
Yes, I hope everyone enjoyed our talk.
We went a little longer today, and I think it was perfect, because I feel like there was a lot of really beautiful energy that needed to be transmitted today for everybody. And hopefully, whenever you catch this, it's the perfect time. And we're honored that you chose to spend some time with us.
Yes. Well, happy new moon and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. So,
oh yes, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, lots to be grateful for.
Yeah,
lots to be grateful for. So, all right, we will see you all here in 2 weeks. We'll be talking about
Gemini. I think the Gemini full moon, 16 degrees.
Yeah. Look at you pulling out the numbers.
You know me with my notebook. I do all these. I go months.
All your drawings.
Yeah, I love them. So, yeah.
All right. Well,